Hey, good morning everyone, Tractorman 44 here. Hey, you know, I'm down here getting ready to, I've actually started building the farms for the footing. And I told you I was going to plan on using as much of that soft maple that I saw on that Frontier mill, or as much of the farm work as possible. I was really intending on building the farms, but as it turns out, you know, for the foundation wall. But as it turns out, this wall is going to be too high for me to safely build those farms without some extreme bracing and everything out of just 2x4 and 2x6 material. So I'm probably going to either rent or have a buddy of mine that's a concrete man come by. We'll set some 4-foot farms and build a 4-foot wall. Other than that, you can see I've got some pretty clear looking soft maple laid here. And if you look over on the side, you can see I'm coming down the outside wall with the very first foundation or footing farm. So I'm getting ready to come across the end here and then come back right up to where we're standing and then across the front. Now I'm not going to record a whole lot of this crawling around on my hands and knees, you know, screwing a few boards together and everything, because it's going to be boring. It's going to be hours of video that I would have to edit out anyway. So we're just going to get the high spots on this. So that's where we're at right now. I'm getting ready to go head up to that corner, and so I'll show you a little bit what we get in another hour or two. Well, guys, you never get as much done as you want to in a given day, but I got a little bit going on. There's some always things coming up in the meantime, but I don't have anybody holding my grade stakes again today. So what I've done is I've taken and screwed this squarely to this 2x6, and I set this 2x6 level with the with the farm, and that way I can get a reasonably secure and plumb reading on the pole. And so that's what I've been doing. I just have to move it from place in place on the farm to make sure the top of the farm comes out fairly level. I don't care about the grade. We're going to be hauling rock in. I got to level all this out and pack all that rock in underneath, and then we're going to go ahead and put our 4.5 or 5 inches of concrete on top of that rock. What's underneath it doesn't really matter. It's what's on top that counts. So that's it for today. I'll be back tomorrow. We'll do some more. Well, as you can see, it's looking a little better than it was when we got started. You can see the stakes are up above the edge of the farms. Those all get cut off. Don't worry about that. You want to be able to screed off the top of that the farm, make it easy on yourself. And there's quite a few more stakes I've got to install. You can't see the ones around the perimeter that are just reinforcing rod driven about 2.5 feet into the ground, and then just another 5.5, 6 inches stubbed up above. But I've got to grade out the rest of that rock. I got to finish up the very inside front farm. You can see land right there, and then of course the outside wide farm, which is a full 14 foot, which is actually 15.5 by the time you get to the edge of the farms. So that's where we're at right now. And that maple, that soft maple, you can see there's a little bit of a stack over there. It's working absolutely perfectly for this application. Now, footings are by no means extremely critical. They can be crooked. They can even be a little bit off level, because whenever you come in and set your farms, you're going to shoot to the top of your actual farm, you know, to make sure that you have the wall nice and level for your sill plate to set on. But what we've got is really not too awfully bad. But like I say, there's a lot of backfilling to do and a lot of leveling out there. Tell you another thing I found out is quite surprising. There's no comparison to the actual strength of this soft maple whenever you compare it to white pine. If you were to be using white pine for farm material, I think it's much more superior. It's definitely a stronger product. There is no doubt about it. And so in this application here, some of my thick and thin sawing, when my blade started waving whenever I should have changed the blade, but I didn't, I kept on going because I knew that most of this was going to be used for this kind of project, so I really wasn't concerned. I was getting as much life out of the blades as possible. But this application doesn't really matter. All the wavy stuff is going to be poured underneath Mother Earth, you know what I mean? So let's get back in there and do a little bit more. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I like using that tie wire. Just double it up like that, drill those holes on either side of that rebar, and pull them through there and just twist them up as tight as you can be. That way, if you need to change elevation, you can just tap them with the hammer a little bit and drive them down to get you right back on the bubble. Or you can actually come along with your shovel and just stick underneath there and just kind of pry down on it, raise it back up a little bit, and jostle stuff back into place. And that's the best way I found to adjust them. It works fine. You know, I've done quite a number of footing layouts just exactly like that, and I've never had an issue. Remember, this is not a how-to video. This is just how I do video. Your results may vary, you know. There could be a lot of bloodletting on a project like this. But anyway, you can see what I got to do. I got to go around and cut all those stakes off level with the farm. So whenever we pour, we can just screed right off there with a sharp 2x4 or something like that. Make it simple on ourselves. But I still got to go ahead and fill in everything, you know, to grade, tamp everything in, add some more braces, and we're just about done. So if that happens to be it for this video, this is Tractor Man 44, and I'm out of here.